Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the GX850 Panasonic Micro Four Thirds camera. It's a ultra compact little Micro Four Thirds camera, kind of centered around the travel selfie vlogging type of group. I'm actually using it for wildlife photography as well, or at least testing it out. So before we get started, the things I'm trying to solve, the issues I'm trying to solve is I have a bunch of different photography gear. A lot of it's not very interchangeable. I have the Canon G5X, which doesn't have a microphone jack. Either does this one. I have some Nikons. So what I noticed with some of the video that I'm taking is it's a little soft, low light, the Canon, the Nikons, and I'm looking at improving the video quality and doing double duty as far as being able to do actually some wildlife photography with the camera as well. Because I don't know, this is my call to action to you guys, anybody watching this that does wildlife photography, some of the people I subscribe to, that we have 2 or 3 different camera gears. Nothing seems to be interchangeable, and it becomes kind of chaotic in the field as far as when you're trying to do photography as far as your bigger camera, and you have a couple different tripods, you have a couple different things over here, over there. Things kind of get out of hand as far as not bringing the right batteries with you, or not right and the incorrect lenses and all that. So I would like to know your comments below, see if you guys are struggling with the same thing I'm struggling with. But yeah, let's get started here. So short, I can sum it up. You know, it's made for the travel kind of guy, people that are doing the vacations. If you're looking for the best vlogging camera, I can sum it up right now. No. I mean, there's one big thing I'm going to beat up on this camera initially is there's no mic jack, which I don't know why, but camera manufacturers, they always kind of want to upsell you to the next bigger version, which is kind of it's really, this would be a very good camera because I do like it, but it would be an awesome camera if it had the mic jack. The X9 as well doesn't have it, but the G9 Panasonic does have the mic jack, but it's substantially larger. And I'm pretty sure all these manufacturers, there's not a whole lot of camera manufacturers that are putting mic jacks in these small cameras, even though there's a ton of people on YouTube doing the selfies and the vlogging and everything else. So it's kind of strange, but that is what it is. So that's the biggest drawback of this camera. I got about a half dozen other ones. The other one is no image stability. This is super small little camera, and the image stability is, they didn't put it in the camera, which is kind of a shame because Olympus and Panasonic have very good image stabilization systems in their cameras generally. 16 megapixel, so it's not the 20 megapixel camera or image sensor. It's a little lighter. They did remove the low pass filter, which gives it a little bit more punch, a little bit more sharpness to the image, which is awesome. But yeah, you know, you wish you could have 20. Battery life. So battery life is good. It's decent. It's not exceptional, but it is better. I feel that I'm getting more out of this than my Canon G5X as far as the ability to do video and shoot images. And the batteries are actually very affordable. They're super small. So I'm kind of, you know, on the fence about that one. Two other issues that really drive home some of the things on other reviews of this camera. One is the write speed issue. So there is an issue every once in a while, about every 10 or 20 times you'll start video and it gives you a write issue, like it says write speed to card is too slow or something along those lines, like your memory card's too slow. But I know that's not the case because I have the best memory card in the camera that I could find. Other people have mentioned that it's probably a software issue, because if I just stop and restart, it fixes it and generally doesn't come back for a while. The other one is a little bit more problematic if you're going to do long video. And so this has a 5-minute 4K limit. And so it will give you an overheating issue and it will shut down automatically. Just, sorry, it's too hot. And even in 4K photo mode. So up here, things I love about this camera are post focus button and then a 4K button, photo mode. And if you, even in 4K photo mode, it's basically taking video and ripping it out. So you can take through and you can scroll through your video and punch out images that you want to keep. But it will overheat and it'll give you that overheating warning, and it shuts down at that point. So either way, I think it's about a 20-minute limit or 30-minute limit for 1080p, 30 or 60. 4K I think is at 25 and 30. It does very good video though, and that's the positive thing. So, there's the negative thing. One last thing is no hot shoe. So it's obvious, really small, compact, but it'd be kind of cool because Panasonic has other cameras that they have hot shoes in, something as small as this. So with all that, with all that negativity, why would I still even consider this? And it's part of it is I'm a Micro Four Thirds guy. I want to bring in the field a lot of interchangeable parts, things that will work. Like if my camera goes down or batteries or my lens doesn't work or I want to swap things out, I want to get a different angle, I can hook up, actually a 100 to 400 mil to this and use it for wildlife photography. Now above, I've shot some video here of some deer and some birds with this 400, and it works really, really well. And that's the thing you can't do with a lot of the vlogging cameras, obviously. They're just like solo tasks. And that becomes problematic because now you got to bring a whole different set of batteries. You got to, you got your mic jack, you got a bunch of other things, even if you can find something that's small. So the double duty is awesome. It does really good video, and it does really good stills. And in fact, the focus speed is actually very adequate. You get good light, it will actually focus. What I have here is the Sigma 150 to 600 with a Metabones adapter. So that's equivalent to 300 to 1200 millimeters at f6.3 on this little camera. I know it sounds crazy, but if you're out in a big field and you want some faraway shots, or you're looking for some animals and some video footage of that is really an awesome thing to have in your back pocket. But I mentioned the size. Most of the lenses, now that's the biggest lens I have, the 150 to 600 in this system, in the Micro Four Thirds system that I use. And yeah, most of them are tiny little compacts. As you know, the benefits of Micro Four Thirds. This is a 12 to 32, and it's equivalent to 24 to 64, and it's ultra compact. And they have some really good, sharp, affordable primes you can put on this. So if you want to go like a 50 millimeter 1.8, it's $150. I think it's actually a 25 millimeter, but it equates Panasonic to 50 millimeters, which is awesome. So that cheap, affordable. I mentioned there's no low pass filter, that's been removed. I could see if you're looking at doing street photography, black and white photography, this camera, another thing I like, is loaded with all of the software, or like 90% of the bigger cameras, and which is great. So it keeps the monochrome and L monochrome that a lot of street photographers like to shoot with Panasonic, black and white stuff. Awesome. They got the light composition. They have obviously the 4K photo modes, and yeah, it does really well in that respect. As I mentioned, it's got a little pop-up flash. Not awesome, and you can tilt it, but it's serviceable. As you guys have seen, the little flip-up piece here, articulating screen. Batteries are cheap. So as far as the buffer, now, you're talking about wildlife photography, being able to shoot and actually capture it. Most small camera systems don't really have a large buffer, but this actually will capture 60 to 100 JPEGs. Now, I only shoot JPEG. I know that's a whole nother discussion, but that's just what I shoot. But 60 to 100 JPEGs is quite substantial when you're talking about moving around or doing some things. And the speed of the camera is, I want to say 5.8 frames a second with the mechanical shutter, which is adequate. It's pretty decent, but the silent mode is really where things kick off. And I only shoot silent mode. That's 10 frames per second. So it clears the buffer pretty quick. So you can get 10 frames a second at 16 megapixels, and then just wait and then hammer it down again, and you can get some good stuff there. It's really close, as far as, the EM5 Mark III. I think this has a couple hundred buffer, but yeah, and this is probably half the size, physical size, as the M5 Mark III. But and weight. Actually, I think it's about half the weight as well when you take everything off of it. That's about it. You know, fast focus, tons of software, the silent mode, articulating screen. There's very few competitors to this system, sadly. There's the Canon M100, which is a small little flat camera. I've used that one. It's actually really good. It's at the M mount. And there's the Canon M50. Those are the two small little guys that are comparable to this. Now the Canon M100, M200, which they just came out with, again, that doesn't have a mic jack, doesn't have a hot shoe, and it's very comparable to this. The only drawback, I would say the M100, M200 have a better image quality and a little better video, is because it's using an APS-C sensor. It just feels like it captures that. The only drawback is the lens selection. You're going to have to put an adapter on that because the Canon M line is, I really like it, and I wish they would bump up the lens. You know, I think there's maybe a dozen lenses to the Canon M system, just not enough, and you're going to have to go with an adapter. You start to get into other issues as well, focus speeds and other things with those cameras. So Thomas Heaton actually uses the Canon M50 for all his work, and his work is beautiful. So that is probably on the top of the list if you're really going to go with the Canon system. I'm going to try to use this. I have some workarounds, maybe using some external mic stuff that I might try. Again, that's adding in another item, another element into this, but I got a lot of eBaying and Amazoning to do with some of this gear as I progress through the last 2 or 3 months of doing this video work. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, put them down there. I'll try to answer anything I can. I just know that if you're just looking at video and photography, it's a great travel camera. It's really, really good. It falls down in some of the other areas, much like the other cameras do, but. And that's about it, guys. I appreciate your time. I think next week I should have a couple bird videos out or some other videos coming out. So appreciate it and hope to see you guys next week.